Out with Dad is about a teenage girl and her single dad. It's at a time when she's coming out of the closet first to herself and eventually to Dad and others. And it's also a bit of a story about how she's falling for her best friend. And it's a romance that cannot be. So, yeah. Cannot. I was just sitting on the subway one day and I was just thinking about, I was just thinking about dreams that I've had recently and I was thinking about, what if I was a father, which at the time I wasn't, and what would it be like to grow up with her and teaching her things and how would she inform me about life, and what if she came out of the closet? Like, that idea just sort of came to me. I was like, oh well, I'd be very supportive, of course, and so I just started thinking about stories come from that, and when I looked into seeing what other stories like that are being told, I discovered there aren't any. When I met Kate, she just came in for an audition, and we knew right away, that's Rose.
Back up about her headshot.
Oh, that's right. I almost didn't. I didn't even. Her headshot. I don't think it was a very good headshot. She knows I think this. She disagrees with me, but I think it's a terrible headshot. She looked so old in it. She looked like she's 25, 26 or something like that. And at the time, I think she was only 23, I think. 22, 23. But she looked older than she is in real life. And in real life, she looks like she's 16, like she's supposed to. But I almost didn't even bother bringing her in. And it wasn't until, I think it was Eric, my producer, he just said, bring her in. I'm like, okay, fine. It was so fickle a thing, And she came in, and as soon as she sat down and started, I'm like, I found my Rose. I just knew it right away. But in terms of casting Lindsay, casting Vanessa, I should say, it was a bit more challenging because there was a lot of great actors that came in for the role, but I had to know how do they connect with Kate. They have to have that sort of connection, right? But you guys had an immediate connection. You even went to the same school.
Went to the same school at different times, so.
Yeah, but you had a lot of the same professors, and so you had this history already. Mm-hmm. And so it was after that it was okay, well, the obvious choice is Lindsay. So it was fun.
It was fun. Well, Vanessa was very interesting for me because actually when we started the show, my family was very much kind of like Vanessa's family. It came from a very religious background and had a lot of issues with homosexuality and things like that. So actually when I got cast in the role, my family's from Niagara Falls area, so I just Skyped my mother and tell her that I was doing this show. And it kind of felt to me like I was coming out, and I'm a straight woman, and I was like, Mom, I'm doing this show. And it was this weird...
kissing girls.
There was this weird moment where I was like, I feel like I'm coming out of the closet to my family right now, and this is so hard. And I was really emotional about it, and it was one of the scariest things I've ever had to do.
I didn't know this story.
I don't know. Well, hey, yeah. A lot of people are tough on Vanessa in season 1, and she's dealing with a lot of stuff, and she's living a life for most of her part, and I'm a very open person. I speak my mind all the time. You always know what I'm thinking, so it was kind of dialing all that down and bringing it just inside and everything of what it would be like to not do that, and that just makes me very sad, and I think that's kind of what she becomes, is kind of this wannabe full person, but you can't because you're not allowed for silly reasons. So yeah. The
reaction that I got from posting online was really exciting because I was thinking more like television. You put it up there and then people watch it, and then it's I wonder how many people watched it. But with YouTube, also there's that interaction because they have comments, they give you feedback, and they won't hold back. So it was really exciting that you got all this feedback, normally very positive. And then, they've even started connecting with me, the maker. But then I know you've got all sorts of stories too about connecting with people.
Yeah, Kate, and myself, and Jonathan, it's really cool because even through Facebook, people reach out to us through there. There's the Out With Dad Facebook group, so you can find us through there, and we get messages all the time. So between YouTube and Jason all the time, when comments are just kind of blow your mind with how the show's affected someone or just what it's done for someone, he'll email it to the whole cast and crew, and we all get to make sure we get to see how it's actually affecting someone. So that's been an amazing thing that I don't think a regular TV show or movie you necessarily get.
One of our favorite episodes from the first season is Party Out. That's one where we dance.
Yes.
And that episode, that was the last thing we filmed because after the second episode came out, all the feedback was like, oh, Vanessa, she's such a bitch, and like everyone hated Vanessa, which made sense.
Yeah.
But what didn't make sense is, well, then why is Rose in love with her? So I was like, I have to tell the audience what there is that's so great about it, because you had a hard role that you were playing a character who was playing a character, because you were trying to act like, you're all tough and all that stuff. So like it was a challenge for her. The audience wasn't seeing yet, so we actually got to shape the story based on the feedback, and that's continued to happen. Mm-hmm. There's been some like homophobic stuff and some Jesus freaks trying to preach and stuff like that.
But the cool thing with that is, again, other people will then jump on those comments and defend for us.
That's right. Yeah.
There's been so many times where I'll read something and I'll be like, oh, like that's silly, like, and like unintelligent that they're saying that, and like I'll read the next comment and there's like 16 comments
defending
from people who love the show, saying exactly probably more eloquently than I was thinking in my head.
Toronto is filmed in all the time, but nothing ever takes place in Toronto. That's not true anymore. Like now you've got Flashpoint and Rookie Blue and stuff, but at the time those shows were either not on air or just beginning. So I was just like, screw this. I love my city. Like I love this city, imperfections and all. And so let's set it here. Let's show off Toronto. That's why I do things like I make sure the CN Tower is in every shot that I can squeeze it into, and the TTC and all that stuff. Like just anything that sort of makes it uniquely Toronto, I want to showcase that, because I think we're an awesome city and a very inclusive city too. Because it's a web series, that means I don't have any bosses. There aren't executives. There's no networks saying, no, Dad's got to be about a boy coming out. I was like, and for whatever reason, I wanted to be a girl. I was like, oh no, you can't cast that person. You got to cast this person. None of that, and no one commented on the story. Like it was up to me to make all those decisions. So, as an artist, I had complete creative control, and you can't do that in television. You just don't. So that's why web series that's my favorite medium now. I think it's our best work. I think we're all better at what we do now, and plus also one of the other great benefits is during I was always the cinematographer for season 1 and 2, and Bruce William Harper, he came in and shot just whenever he could for season 2, and so we just whenever he wasn't working, he'd just show up and help out, and he's a way better cinematographer than I am. So he shot season 3, and it's gorgeous. Like it just looks so professional. And Eric, who was our producer in seasons 1 and 2, he found a passion for sound, so he actually stepped down from producing and stepped up to sound recording, and he did a spectacular job. It's his first time really doing it, and he did a great job. So I just feel like the production quality is way up, and and like everyone's performances is a step up. And and the fact that season 3 I wrote it first, it meant I had that much more time to go and revise, and so I think it's the best writing too.
I'm super excited for season 3.
Yeah.
I'm just excited for Vanessa for season 3.
Yeah.
That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.